Alright, it's to lab time! Unknown seed, Droom and Swath. Oh. I feel the soul leaving my body! I tricked that. Oh. Fixed Amy announcer. Alright, team 2, what am I doing for this? Okay, first let me trip the rate up stuff. Yeah, at least there's free so I can get all the... There's this song here. So it's Swath and Droom. This is both. I probably won't even be running any statuses. Just go for the damage types. So, Swath and Droom. No one else with those? Okay, no one else here. So Swath and Droom. Hard to find Swath. Oh wait, Eurodivi actually has it. I'm a bit surprised Eurodivi has it. Alright, oh wait, no, I think the SE will probably work better, I feel like. For what I'm doing. No one else. Or is this like a common thing? Base Honglu technically also has it. You know what? I'll do Base Sinners to start off with. Yeah, I'll just give it a fair assessment with Base Sinners. I didn't think that earlier, but someone meant Interest Nightmare would be better instead. Session, Spread, Tavronis Wailing, Revolution. Yeah. I think Honglu is honestly the most consistent with these two. As long as you don't take no damage, it should be fine and consistent. And then... Isang does have the... I still won at 11. I think I put Dregger actually up there. This is the still 2.
네.
앞장서시오.
네.
Go last. Alright.
문제 없어요. 명령에 따를게요.
It can't go that bad, I feel like. It should be fine. I was exploring our Botany Corporation branch when our consciousness sinks into the depths. The sense of cognition, itself a concept without form, floats into the shadow of an ever-widening river, swept up in its currents to nowhere. When we ran into an emeraldy, but Sod told us that Hongyang's Botany Torp branch should be free of any abnormalities. The abnormality, which had appeared out of nowhere, was more otherworldly than anything we'd encountered so far in our journey, and deep blue. It was Fafomously blue. Fafomously. Fafomously? I know what that means, or how we say it. Like the Fafomously blue. It's a pull that endlessly drew us into itself. As I was about to recall this abnormality, and mired of sceneries and a flood of incalculable thoughts trashed into my mind like wild waves before ebbing away from the shores. I was already lost in a drift somewhere within my own consciousness when I realized this. How long am I going to be adrift? The sensation of my own consciousness floating away is quite the unfamiliar one. I floated about in that strange state for a while. An unfamiliar voice seizes my aimless drifting consciousness. Are you Dante? The fog of my vision clears as the voice breaks through the waves, and a concerned expression comes into view. Yes, I am. Ah, what a relief. Trigger, I think Dante has come too. So who are... I was about to ask further questions to this stranger with particularly long animal-like ears, but... I felt the drowsiness coursing back with the terrifying memories of the dream, rendering me unable to speak. I have to get a hold of myself. After indeterminable amount of time had passed, I barely managed to wake myself from slumber to a grasp of my surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. There was that stranger from earlier, sitting atop a walk and silently taking in the sights. A young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so were those animal ears after all? Okay, that's not important right now. I have to prioritize figuring out just where in the world I ended up in. So where? We are standing by the Iberian coastline. How are you feeling? A little out of it, but I'm okay otherwise. Iberia, huh? Yes, we are in Iberia. We just have like main story spoilers. I only read the free events with the Abyssal Hunters, so is this near the White House? Or that's what I assume from that pillar there. Probably not. Well, given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted all the way to Utorp Strait Lake. Iberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all I had to go on, given that the city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me. I radioed your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. They'll be here any minute. I see. Wait, my colleagues? You must have run into the sinners then! The fog in my mind immediately cleared as soon as I realized that the sinners were all nowhere to be seen. Sinners? I think so. I ran into them earlier. They're looking all over the place for someone with a chalk for their head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you are the person they were looking for. So this chalk head does come in handy. Manager bud. And hey, I've woken up in an unfamiliar place to an unfamiliar face in the midst of this all-around sense of displacement. The faces that appeared before me were certainly a sight for sore eyes. Dragon Hung Lu! Miss Rabbit here told me she found you unconscious by the ocean, and phew, I came as fast as I could, and oh boy, I was worried that something bad might have happened. Glad to see you're doing fine. Are you lost at sea? I don't know. Well, I do think I'm fine, no? I guess not having any way to drink water's finally come in handy. You should have got checked out just in case. Wait, your head's waterproof, right? Dregger takes a moment to study his breathing, and then mutters a casual trip as he lights a cigarette. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we are not actually in that much danger. So, what happened? Where are we? Do you remember entering that lobotomy torp branch Jishan told us about? Yeah. Yeah, we ran into a new abnormality, and got sucked into it before we even had the chance to do anything. Man, I really thought that was it for us. There's a few things sucked in there too, Manager Bud. But when we came to, despite waking up with our faces down in some ditch, we were all fine without a stretch. Though it was quite the mess when we realized you gone missing. We wanted to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got a better bearing of where we were. So we're not Utorp Strait Lake? Some of us consider that a distinct possibility, but it's unlikely. Ishmael was really certain that we were not in District 21. They did concede that we might be in an unknown area within the Great Lake of the outskirts, but that doesn't seem likely either, given what the rabbit-eared lady there said. The outskirts region of the Great Lake? I've met all kinds of people from all over Terra, but never met anyone who referred to the Iberian Sea that way. Terra? Iberia? As I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. Speaking of which, who are you? Really? You fellas haven't introduced yourselves to each other yet? It's just that it's all just a lot to take in. It's understandable. You just wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. She is... actually, would you like to do the honors yourself? I am Emea, leader of Rose Island. Please, just call me Emea. I am Dante, manager at Limbus Company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my bacon. If bacon in Limbus? Or I don't remember bacon ever being mentioned in Vernia or in any of the web novels, so bacon's actually a new thing. It was never mentioned before, I believe. I don't recall it being mentioned before. That's interesting. It seems that Rhodes Island is a pretty big pharmaceutical corporation, but Gregor trails off ominously and stretches his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady with the rabbit ears doesn't know what the head is at all. As far as I know, there aren't any organizations in Terra with the same characteristics as the one Mr. Dreger explained. At least not with a name like the head. Also, sorry, it's Rhodes Iron, not Rodeo. Wait, when was that mentioned? Did I just skip over that? Rodeo Island, oh. I just auto-filled it, I guess. Sorry, Drago's kind of bad with names. So, what you are saying is that we're not in the city anymore. Wait, I need to understand Dante speaking? Oh, it'd be weird for any higher-ups of these huge corporations to know less about the head than we do, let alone be completely truthful about it. Oh, maybe I've stumbled into a previously undiscovered zone of the outskirts ruins. Probably. Or maybe we really found ourselves in a completely different world. If the conjecture is correct, we're in a way bigger trouble than I thought. This wasn't like the time we accidentally stranded ourselves in the outskirts via a door in the corridor. Emilia stared at me with some concern, as though she felt my distress. I think I can draw a connection to something else that's happening here. Really? Yes, recently anomalous signs and events have been occurring in Iberia as the mysterious dimensional door appeared at sea. Well, and it's been said that this dimensional door is connected to something very, very distant, to something that we've never observed before, so seems reasonable to theorize that the dimensional door is how we managed to cross over to this world. I really would have appreciated Frost's input. Where'd all the other sinners go anyway? A bit weak on the uptake to be docking around for the other sinners now, don't you think? They're at the settlement near here, where they are all helping out with various odds and ends of the village. We're taking turns searching for Dante, of course. You know, I never thought about how difficult it would be to search for someone when we're like fish out of water, too. Man, there's not even a wink of sleep since yesterday. Everyone's got to be really tired then. So it's just you two out here for now? No, Ishmael and Yisong are the other half of the search party, and we just happen to be the last group in the rotation. They must be searching elsewhere to find you, Manager Bud. Huh? We got news Eri thinks Amaya's Tom's dear, but the other team didn't. Yeah, we got lucky. The other team, well, we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so they'll probably continue their search until their shift is done. Oh, are we talking about that village you mentioned earlier? Right. You've not been there yet, huh? That's a bit off the beaten path. Well, we're going to have to rendezvous with the other sinners anyway, so let's head to the village for now. Something seemed to pique Amy's interest. She fell into a contemplative state, or tearfully speaking up. I would like to accompany you there. Sure, I don't see why not. You helped us find Manager Bud, and more importantly, seem to know a lot more about this place than we do. I don't actually know Iberia that well either, but I should be able to be of some help. They've closed their borders and have practically locked out any foreign influences from affecting them, but I did get a briefing before the mission. Closed borders, huh? How'd you get in, Miss Amia? We followed Dr. Taus's directions and illegally crossed the country border! Illegal. Oh, does that mean you crossed the border without obtaining any permission, Amia? We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate how and why the dimensional door came to be. Isn't normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that? Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions. Yes, Rhodes Island is, in its essence, a pharmaceutical company reaching treatments for people infected with orpathy. We also work to prevent and assist in the management of various situations that can occur in high-risk areas. High-risk areas, huh? What about your companions? I thought you came all the way here on your own. We were forced to split up due to certain forces that were in pursuit. Wait, stop! Amia's ears twitched, so he came to a stop. We began scanning the surrounding area. Then, there! As we stood about, confused, Amia, noticing something, pointed towards the seashore, hidden beneath large and jagged rock formations. What are we supposed to do? Huh? There we saw someone wielding a lengthy greatsword. Oh, they actually just have to put Statty in here? Wait, are the other, Iberians here? I wonder if there's any Inquisitors. That would be neat. Speaking with two familiar faces. I didn't move! You're in the way! You needn't worry as you do. We have an ample experience battling monsters who are much like them. Listen, I'm not worried. Come on, better to have 3 fighters than 1, right? Besides, you are the first person we ran into out here, so we've got a lot of questions to ask. Yisong! Ishmael! Dante, you are unharmed. And here I was getting ready for a 3 days long search. What a relief. We were all really worried that we might never be able to find you. We managed to find them all thanks to help from Miss Amia here. Amia! Are you two excited? Not a good time for a reunion. It can wait until after we take out the sea monsters. Study, are these organisms the Seaborns? Dr. Towns— Wait, Amy doesn't know about the Seaborns! You don't know how many Seaborns I have to go through. At least these ones don't talk. Yet, I think. They are sea terrors, to be specific. The less sophisticated ones among them. And they are probably here for me. Oh, I decided to tutter something. Now, the entirety of the Seaborns are here? Sea terrors! I hear the sticking noise of something vicious and swivering against the rocks. When I turn to face the origin of the unsettling noise, I smell the heavy, wet scent of brine. At the end of my days await strange monsters unlike distortions, unlike abnormalities, unlike anything I've ever seen. It is as though the sea itself is encroaching on the land. I was almost certain we weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Her experiences with the thick scent of brine at the Great Lake must have put her in a weary mood. I just must seem to be a lot more pensive about these monsters than anyone else. Do you think these creatures to be whales or mermaids? I don't know. The Great Lake and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries, after all! Dante, what do your senses say? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I could make is with the whales, but even that's not conclusive. More enemies on the horizon! We should prepare for battle! Doesn't seem like we can talk things out with them, though. So let's take them out. Okay. So I went base centers just trying to see like the average combat of these things. These are just low level, like I said, sea terrors. It should be easy, right? It's not like they're spreading the abyssal brand and killing automatically. They outnumber. Oh wait, 3 plus 5. Okay, these things are weak. Okay. What's the 30% the unbreakable? Nervous impairment. Okay, so do have nervous impairment. Oh, great. But it seems like it's very low amounts. So if they reach 30, then they will be staggered with damage. Oh no! Never seen brands. I have to mostly use range units while pocketing like a tank. Oh no! In terms of that sinking. As soon as I have never seen brand turn into 605 HP and freedom of impairment. Oh, use never the centers. This is towards center to reach passage. The sea territory affects all sinners. Okay, so that's how they're doing it, and that's I don't see how that works. So right now none of them are specking never see brand. Don't know how that will be spread. I think if it was lost to Clash, really. Oh, it's so stuck with all that sanity down. Okay, good thing they roll low. That doesn't help build up sanity then, but one-sided attacks will ruin the single toy unit. There's no turn limit, right? Out 12 of them, really? Use them Burning Glory, I don't know. No, I don't have enough still slots for that, I guess. Okay, yeah, this is the filler fight. I don't know why they want to put so many. I know there's supposed to be a lot of sea terrors in like war, but for the first stage, they really want to throw 12 of them at it. I mean, they die easily. They would have died faster with the actual units. But oh no, I don't have enough wrath. Oh, she's on this one.
좋아, 간다.
재밌는 순간이에요.
Oh wait, that's the unique death thing.
일스럽다니까요.
가라앉는군.
Turn into dust. Oh.
고개 거울은 깨졌어.
Wait, there's not to be enemies that eat like the corpses of the lesser ones. Wait, yeah, it's destroying the corpses. I don't know how that'll work.
눈부시지 않도록.
Because I know, like the boss of Sofeta Navis was just going around the map, like doping up the corpses of the ones he killed and power himself. Let's use Taro Aoji.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
I should kill all of them, right?
한눈 팔지 마세요.
Yeah, I'm still disappointed they did all egos instead of just IDs of some random like factions. Like just having like a random Inquisitor singer, not based off of any of the actual characters, would have been. Oh, remaining enemies return to sea. Good work, everyone. Phew, didn't think I'd deal with anything remotely like this outside the Great Lake. You say that then. It would have taken us the whole day if that strategy didn't occupy the other half when Mr. Rabbit helped us from a distance. As we were catching our breath after the battle, I heard a brief hum. When I turned to look at its source, I saw Statty glaring at me with palpable alarm. Strange people who transform. And a head of a truck. I guess they're both technically true. How it's nothing more than a theory at this point. I think they have a lot to do with the dimensional door we're supposed to be investigating. Yeah, nice to meet you, I guess. I only hear a ticking clock. Oh, this is only us sinners can hear Dante's voice. Huh? What's up? No, I'm wondering how Miss Amy can seemingly understand Dante. Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, it completely flew over my head that I didn't even question how weird this is. Their voice sounds like a chicken talk to me too, but I don't know, it's almost like I can sense what they are trying to say, what kind of emotion they are trying to convey. Her explanation reminded me of the blue boy in Sakura's past. I don't try to feel the uncanny sensation, but maybe I felt from them. Oh, wait, the blue people understand Dante? I forgot, I guess. So she can read me kind of like how Virgilius can, I guess? Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. That's true. It's a bit of a hassle to always need Foster Hong Wu to translate for you, Dante. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we got the luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. So, are we heading back? Sounds like a plan, too. It's not like anywhere else though, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit here will be tagging along, too. She says she'd help us find our way back. I'm glad to be working with you two also, Mr. Smell, Mr. Yi-san. Take the words out of my mouth. You've already helped us plenty, and you truly know a lot more about this place than we do. The journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it eerie the sun's fall would be wise. How long is the journey? No idea. It's not like we have a truck with us. I don't know that it's... I do know it's not very far. No, we just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. Daddy flatly points in my direction. Oh, Daddy can tell us the time. Can't tell us the time because they are not on time. Then why the truck head? I didn't exactly choose to get myself a truck-shaped head. I looked away from Daddy's intrusive eyes, which were quite solidly fixed on my head. The coasts of Iberia are hardly good places for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at places that meet the ocean. How did people manage to build a village at a place like... Oh, wait. The monsters are called seaborns. Or sea terrors, yes. As due to possess certain difficulties, they are hardly turned a monster with the strength to bring scourge and drive out the local populace. Don't judge them based on that brief skirmish. He's just telling us to be on our guard, right? Daddy can be a bit hurt, but she's not a bad person. I don't think she said anything wrong. Nothing rules out the existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. Daddy's concern only served to fan my curiosity, but something about her expression communicated that I probably shouldn't pry, so I quickened my pace as we walked to the village.
솔직히
Yes,
이번엔
even
좀
playing the
잘한 것
Arknights
같네요.
music here.
그렇죠?
Village of the Dead White House. What? Wait, oh wait, is this one of the fallen White Houses? I know he mentioned there was only one left that was in Salvento, which is where the story took place. So is this the ruins of one of the fallen ones? It's hard, it's like a village. It's more like the ruins of one, isn't it? It doesn't seem like they've done any proper upkeep to the place. Not in a while, at least. They are really here, living together. The strange buildings tell the stories of former prosperity from a bygone era. Our steps with no footprints on the wet, muddy ground. On it, I see a rotting sign marked with the name Faro Mutero. Everywhere I look in this village, I see evidence of long, silent abandonment. Well, I don't see these kinds of abandoned-looking ruins often in the city either. Well, yeah, there's always someone or something out there waiting to capitalize on that free real estate, be it a syndicate or a corporation, and fix it up, better than this at least. So, where are the sinners? Ah, there's a train down there. Where? We are trapped betwixt a train of great ships, narrowing winds against our sail. Ooh, and that is when young Isabel boomed. Our command must resort. Say no more. I didn't even have to try to search for them. The unmistakably sonorous and familiar voice echoing triumphantly between the empty buildings. That's Dawn Trixote's voice when she's sharing her adventurous tales. There she was, standing atop a low podium like an actor on stage, regaling a group of people in rags with tales of our adventures like a traveling thespian. Yeah, I'm assuming I know what that means. Answer, ye dogs, oarsmen! 'Tis the moment I, Ishmael, the first mate of vessel Mustaphalis, shall now— Ah! Stop, hold on. It's what do you think you're doing? Wait, that's the problem. Young Ishmael, unhand my mouth, for I was just about to regate them with the most fantastic tale adventures at the great— Adventure Destroyer! Very Douse has returned with Adventure Destroyer safely in tow. What? They found Fuckhead? A burning truck for her head? When I was a child, I heard a story about legendary Sakura as a flaming head. Why would someone like that visit our humble village? But exterior may carry elements that inspire fear in some. There's no cause for alarm. Yeah, they might look like that, but they are Dante, our manager, and the rest are— Oh, hello. I'm sorry, who are you two? They are two very nice people who helped us find Dante. This is Miss Emiya, leader of Rhodes Island. And this is Miss Stadi, their operator. They'll be coming along with us for a little while. With us? We believe that the dimensional door, which we at Rhodes Island are investigating, has something to do with why you suddenly woke up here in Iberia. As if Emiya was bringing sinners up to speed. Ugh! The villagers who were staring at us curiously approached us. Our conversation managed to convince them that we are not a threat. I sure hope so. Are you friends of our saviors? Saviors? Hurry! To cite the grand title. Yet, it is indeed the word by which we address. To be more precise, by saviors they are referring only to Faust and Otis. Faust gave me a light nod when we made eye contact, but I could tell that her lips were drawing a very, very subtle smiling arc. So I'm guessing something did happen. They were quite mistrustful upon our initial arrival. What business do outsiders have here? What if they're from the Inquisition? no. What do we do? They're all we went through to get here. Calm yourselves, everyone. None of them are carrying what appears to be their strictures or ramps. Let's first try to see who they are. Man, I don't think they'll address us anytime soon. They're all old Trumajans. Less STNC than PTSD. You can't do that now, Shu. You can't pillage your storage depots. It looks like they already have it hard enough as it is. I don't think STNC is the way it started either. We should just find help elsewhere. Just look how thin their arms are. I don't think they're in any shape to help us out. Perhaps we should inquire as to our whereabouts ere we are to decide our lodging. Well, the Wednesday pursuing reminiscent of Utorps. But I don't recall seeing or running about any place that looks like this, though. Though I can't say I've been to every corner of Utor. I asked the then, what business do outsiders have here? Their fingers are tightening around their grips of their weapons. Prolonged sounds will most likely turn this into a hostile encounter. We can't have that! Hi! We are from Limbus Company. We are Fixers of Justice! Fixers of Justice. Oi! You don't know what to keep it down! Fixers! That over there is a ship blueprint, isn't it? Are you looking to repair a vessel by any chance? All these construction materials seem to suggest so. Chief! This does not concern you! It's not something a mere outsider can understand. Curious. I've never seen an energy source like this before. Have you run the test to rule out any stability issues? It seems to power the heat exchanger via some method comparable to the utilization of fusion energy. Have you any thoughts on this, Miss Voss? The general design structure is somewhat old-fashioned, but there certainly are inspired parts to this design, particularly with the usage of the Tor energy source. While its stability would need to be further studied, its technology seems to be incredibly energy efficient. You identified all that merely by glancing at this blueprint? You must be the village chief, then. If so, I have a proposition for you. In return for assisting us in their ship repair... return for assisting in their ship repair, we were promised a ride on their vessel. Miss Faust has theorized that perhaps by going out to sea, we have to find a way to return once we came. Does that mean we can find a way back somewhere out there in the sea? Nothing is certain yet, Dante. At this moment, we are working based on a hunch. A hunch? Sensing the implicit omen in her choice of words, I turned around to look at Faust, who nodded solemnly in response. If we were really in a different world, even her disostaff has to be. No issues were encountered in the repair process. Faust smiles faintly as she looks around, then she pulls me in by my hands. She whispers in a low voice. My connection to disostaff is currently operating at a suboptimal level, Dante. So it's still connected, at least? Indeed, it is. However, even exchanges of simple information are taking up dozens of hours by current calculations. Is this a warp train situation? Because we are in a different dimension? I thought it should be identical. We have been connected to an unidentified, unpredictable dimension. However, Foss is aware that the pathway to original dimension is yet to close this time, unless back aboard the warp train. So to get back where we came from, indeed, traveling through the pathway is the most feasible solution. And from that, you came up with the whole plan to repair the ship and sail out to the sea? Yes, I am also a genius after all. I made a conjecture that we probably came through a dimensional door of sorts. Looks like that dimensional door might be what Faust is looking for. Of high likelihood, yes. At least there's a way back. I found myself calming down a little. Oh, speaking of which, when do you think you can wrap up the repair job? As fortune should have it, a majority of the most time-consuming parts of the repair have already been completed by the locals. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get its tore apart ship shape again, Executive Manager. Well, we'll be staying here for a few more days then. How did you manage last night? Well, like I said earlier, we've been keeping ourselves busy looking for you this whole time. We took turns helping with the repairs and resting, but I doubt any of us got a proper night's rest. Still, we weren't told thanks to the villagers who kept the fire going for us all night. Not to mention how they helped us. A ton of that local map they drew us. Oh, also, Chief handed us this earlier. What is it for? Ah, looks like a sock to truck water. Div here. I know how to get that installed. Must be to repay Miss Foss and Miss Oath's efforts at repairing their ship. Yet the service they provide us is certainly quite generous, even when taking transactional nature into account. They are really giving us the best treatment they can, huh? As for food, we managed to fill ourselves with some cookies and bread Rhodia keeps in our pockets. Didn't want to eat into their food supply when they're already pretty tight, you know. There's enough cookies and bread for 12 people? They did offer us some nosh and some dried fish rings, but we refused. I'm about taking food from the needy. I'm assuming these might be part seaborn, maybe? I'm not too sure. Or maybe tortoise of the deep, maybe. No reason yourself with our hospitality. You have done more than enough to earn your keep. But I didn't recognize the Abyssal Hunter, so that's not. Turned around to look at the source of that low rumbling voice and saw an old man in an outfit that seemed to distinguish itself amongst the other villagers. There you are, Chief. Is there a place for us to stay tonight? We do have places to shelter from the misty humidity, at the very least. There's an empty building there, so feel free to occupy it for the night. Oh, are you sure? I don't mind sweeping in the streets myself. Hey, speak for yourself. I've been looking forward to sweeping with a roof over my head since, like, yesterday. You catch a toad sweeping in the elements in this environment, which is fine by me. For the rest of you, we do not afford to have the executive manager or our honored guests suffer that fate. Honored guests? I heard what happened from the four who left in search of the executive manager. First, I would like to begin by imparting my infinite gratitude to you for finding and rescuing the executive manager. I hear that you are a leader at a pharmaceutical company. This acquaintance shall certainly come in handy in case our stay becomes significant, prolonged. Ha ha! I'm just surprised by her boldness to say something so materialistic when they're standing right in there. Can I stay in your village too, Chief? The village chief took a brief glance at the hems by her wrist, then nodded. Welcome to Faro Mutero. You are welcome to stay for as long as you want. And please do let me know if you find yourselves without food. Our food supply may be tight indeed, but we have enough to share with those who helped repair the vessel. Oh, you better not go back on your word! What? I wonder what kind of local delicacies await. Dried fish like they're eating earlier, maybe? Hey, Chief. What is it? Just how are you surviving out here by the sea? Perhaps the question of how we are surviving may be somewhat misdirected. For we are only pursuing every possible avenue because we must survive. The chief responds to Sally's perceived hostility with a hearty smile, removing some firewood for the night he left. I'm going. Can't learn much more from here. Huh? You're going somewhere at this hour? Daddy, does this have something to do with this toast? I remember what you said before we got to the village. Something about how toasts are hardly good places to live in. Dante wants to know if there's something to do with the toast. You understand the Ager language? Ager language? No. Dante, Sadi just spoke in Agirian. I couldn't understand a word of Sadi in the chief's conversation because I don't speak Agirian. It may only be that there were enough vectorial similarities between one of the city's languages and the language Sadi spoken for them to be comprehensible, comprehended by the meaning. Weird coincidence. Anyway, I have some things to look into. Something you're all too slow to see. You still have to tell us about it later. Please remember, you're not on a solo mission, Staddy. This is a team effort from Rose Island. Will do. Staddy nodded lightly before leaping off into the night, out of our sights. I'm kind of worried. She's not the best with people, but she's also pretty thoughtful. She'll be okay. Should we head inside? The sun's starting to set already. Oh yeah, we can probably just pick an unlit building and stay the night there, right? Trying our best to ignore the mood that was starting to turn awkward, we made our way into a nearby unoccupied building. Okay. I think that's enough for part 1, I guess. I want to take this slowly. So there's 14 parts, I believe. Is there another fight one? Nope. Terra. More just world building, I guess. I'm just I have to just stop recording and just do it on my own. So I usually find it better to experience games like that, but sometimes this is limited content. Since they want to just follow things like, oh, we're doing a contract, make sure the content is removed at the end. Ha 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 ha. Just as other games do that, doesn't mean they also have to. It could probably work something. Yostar is the publisher of that game, and I don't know if Hyperdrift would even budge on that. Maybe they couldn't. Okay, it should be some like quest or something, right? Oh no, it's his first tier bonus. God, so Doctor hasn't appeared yet. Soon he will appear later. But what do I do with my microfilm modules then?
Alright, are you ready for a general war dump of Arknights? Wow. I just woke up. Oh. And this is like, oh yeah, no, don't talk about Terra. World building. We walked past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings before we came across a hall large enough to house all 15 or so of us. Okay, now we are ready. With the curtains on the window removed, the smoke has an exit. Whoa! I thought we were doomed to shut ourselves to sleep with the soaking wet firewood and all. I had no idea that would work. We just have this small fire going underneath it until the wood dries up and catches fire. The downside being all the smoke. It is clear that she has some field experience, unlike some fools I know. I shan't sit here and let her carry the burden of labor alone. It rests upon me, thine ingredients, young Rodion, for I shall conjure thee a pot of special fixer's soup. You are making soup with cookies and jelly? No! You're not getting anywhere near the kitchen again after what you took up last time. Well, I must admit a certain level of interest. As many of our fellow there are oft racked and with intense agony upon ingesting dishes of your making. Perhaps it would be wiser that we save the occasion for a safer. Right. Don't you remember? I agreed to leave cooking to Rousseau or Oti if we are ever in a situation like this, remember? Did we? I think it's become some sort of an unspoken rule after everything that happened. Remember, back during last year's cooking contest at Taytorp, they were the only two people who could manage to get remotely positive. This is just clever to bring back old story stuff now. Oh, does that mean we will get to try Otis's cooking once a day? Denied! We still have plenty of high-calorie foods like cookies and jellies here. I find no reason to do something so inefficient. I am glad to see that everyone's still energetic, given the circumstances. It can't be easy to suddenly wake up in an unfamiliar environment. Well, we are all quite used to being thrown into unfamiliar places. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleagues, Amiya? She shook her head, concerned. They might have lost their Thomas devices, but maybe they ran into some other trouble. Could they be in danger? I don't know, but I'm sure they are okay. The doctor tells it. They are both more than capable enough to look after themselves. Long have this curiosity lingered with me. Thus, allow me to inform. Corporations are, by their nature, organizations in pursuit of profit. Yet, the activities of your corporation resemble those of charity organizations, as opposed to a pharmaceutical company. Is there aught that might explicate this word distinction? I want to know too. How come a pharmaceutical company like Rhodes Island's helping people? Something about what Hongli said brings back unpleasant memories. The horrible experiments seen through the state of flowing tears in the face of suffering. The embodiment of greed that left a terrible wound in Hongli's bones. The pharmaceutical companies I've seen in my journey are corporations that, despite possessing the capability to heal, chose to obsess over the profit it can provide. There are many in terror who are suffering from a disease. The disease crystallizes you. It spreads deeper and deeper into the infected's internal organs, eventually continuing in their death. It's called orpathy. Amiya showed me the back of her right hand, dotted by what appeared to be obsidian crystallizations. Its appearance reminded me of the biotreatments from the back streets, but there was something more to it, something more restless, sinister. Terrible, painful disease. but there haven't been any recorded cases of full recovery. But there's an even worse problem. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable, deadly disease? While it varies region by region, discrimination against the infected is widespread across Terra. Those who suffer from it must face unfair treatment. The song began with a dark expression. Some are quarantined in places with terrible, inhumane conditions. There have even been massacres, too. I don't mean to be tallest, but is this orphy highly contagious? No, there have not been any recorded cases of infection by contact, as long as the subjects are away. But when the infected dies, crystal droves of their body decay and turns to dust, scattering, which is what spreads the plague. Then, barring environments like active battlefields where casualties are to be expected, staying within close proximity of the infected in daily life seems to pose hardly any risk. So what's the problem then? They're already past the point of caring about what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. Then, Rhodes Island goal has to be, yes, it's important to develop a cure for orpathy. I think what really matters is that we change the circumstances for the better for the infected. That's not going to be an easy endeavor though. That's what gives your effort more meaning. I hope you can achieve that goal, Amy. I really do. It was an entire war dump with, oh, Sinner reacting to war dump. Oh, sob for truth. The city, this world, we both live in worlds full of surprises, don't we? Alright, my nose is a bit stuffy, so I just woke up, so I'm still trying to use that. What kind of world did you come from? This city? What kind of place is the city anyway? A kind of place with too many pointless rules? A kind of place where the moment you think, isn't this too much, you see something even worse? Try as I might, I try to think of a single positive thing about the city. Oh, why did this step back to the interval? Or was this all intervals, wasn't it? The Cinder seemed to be in agreement, as most of what came after was quite stifling. Kind of place where good deeds rarely ever go unpunished. Where sympathy's a good attitude to have if you like getting stabbed in the back. Definitely good ever works out there. Oh, man. It's a shithole! It's an irrational place, full of absurdities. Absurdity is an omnipresence. Therefore, it is not a subject by one to be aggrieved. I can at least... Oh, pardon me. Oh. Can at least drowse about them, though. I mean, the only thing we can do... Oh, actually, finally, new word. Drowse. Birds. What? Oh, no, it's not the bird. Drouse. The flesh of the drouse is food. No, it's just talking about the... Complain, P-A-T, drumble. Oh, so this is mumbling, grumbling, complain. Alright. It would be more direct. To experience more and accumulate oneself to it instead of complaining. You did say something like that last time. Just as the mood was starting to turn rather sour, Don Trixout shouts shattered through awkwardness. Very nary do day, though if be untouched by doings and their fell deeds. Yet worry thee not, for where evil rises, so does the fixers of justice too. Don Trixout jumped from her seat and passionately shook her fist, which was followed by a heavy crack and the sound of small pebbles tumbling down. Don Trixout! Watch out! Whoa! And from behind the wall, she accidentally broke down. An unfamiliar visage of a villager appeared and stared back at Don Trixout. It appeared that she was eating something out of a can while reading a book. How farest thou? Farest thy foot? You gotta apologize first. Last seemed a tad too hyper today. Apologies, for I hardly expected the wall to tremble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries? Who? To? Pray tell, to what? Forget the apology. That's why I know what happens next. The fixers of justice rose up to what? Oh. The hell? I was just making O's noises. What? Hast Presto! Time to hear the tale of fixers. I don't know about coming to us, given how Miss Dontrixote was the one who punched the wall down. Ahem. Well, is it too late? An hour? I don't mind waiting till morning if you want to sleep. Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite an early hour for tales. In fact, Prithee, seat thyself here. You ungovernable fool! Calm down. You don't even know who she is. And don't you forget to share those fixer tales over there in the corner not to disturb our sleep. Thou make a request most untenable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center. Yeah, that's the best way to hear those kinds of stories, but we should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. Name's Mayors. I'm... how should I put this? Ah, do you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my Dramps. Oh, that nice guy? So he had a granddaughter. Yet I had not seen you once, Miss Mayors, under the sun. Oh my, you're right. I thought the village was completely dried of any young blood. Like Rhodia said, while we didn't see Mayors out there wasn't anyone else in the village we could preferably call young. You are telling me Gramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside, going on and on about the dangers that the outsiders pose and everything. Seems that you do not give a full faith to their saviors. There are things you cannot share even with whom you trust with your life, though I would like to know why. Am I? Though there are a bunch of other kids who are stuck indoors in this village. No, there isn't anyone around my age in the village at all. If that's the case, I guess I can understand why he'd be overprotective. Anyways, it's our turn. We are... I am good. I heard enough to get an idea. You did? Oh, pray. How thou'st hear us via listening device most secret upon our chamber? Mayors tapped the side of the wall, part of it, and that was still standing anyway, and smiled ironically. Bad soundproofing. I could hear pretty much everything, Dontrixote, right? Everything Dontrixote could practically sang during the day. Verily, I see. I think you should really do with some sense of embarrassment for... Well, I guess that's good enough for self-introductions, so... Care to regale me with the tale of fixers who bring just... They're so done with this stuff. The evils of the city. Undoubtedly. Then, it shall do. I shall regale you the tale in which the legendary fixer, the Arknights herself, the Red Mist, have... Well, suppose that till any hope for the night's tip. But don't you usually pass out with a minute of your back hitting the hay no matter how noisy things are? What? You'll take me for some kind of hibernating bear or something? Look, even I have trouble sleeping with their noise all over. Sound effect of sleeping. I'd say bear in hibernation is a pretty apt descriptor. For all that grumbling and moaning, he dozed off where any of us did. Aside from Heathcliff, who began snoring the moment his head touched the ground, some other sinners were fast asleep as well. Marceau had entered a sleep in his usual steadfast adherence to routine, but Foss laid claim to one of the few available cloth sheets as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. The sinners, who had spent the entire last night searching for me in this unfamiliar land, slowly began to fall asleep as well. Meanwhile, the fixer of the Zayway Association's first section, though the night was no longer young, Dontrixote was still vigorously sharing the tales of adventures without even a single sign of fatigue. She's not determined to do this until sunrise, is she? Oh, I guess it's okay since Myers seemed to be having fun. To continue to watch the pair with some mild concern, Amiya, not yet asleep, approached me. The city Miss Dontrixote speaks of seems to be teeming with fixers of justice and exhilarating tales. Did you actually experience all of them yourselves? No, of course not. Dontrixote's stories are usually those of other famous people. But she's telling it with such vigor that it almost sounds like she was there herself. Well, I guess, if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retellings of Dontrixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied uncertainly, thinking back to the plays we were made to watch back in Wamacha land. Oh, I think all those stories, even though they're only partially true, are still to show what a ridiculous place it can be. You wouldn't need fixers of justice to begin with. We really lived in a just world, right? A really good place to live would be quiet and peaceful without someone having to force it. I hope there will come a day when Rhodes Island can be normal pharmaceutical company. Future. Something wrong? No, I just thought Miss Mayers and I made eye contact. Did she overhear our conversation? I looked to her direction, but all I saw was Mayers suddenly reacting to Don Quixote's tales. Whoa, what happened then? Thus spoke Ratiotus, boldly before the soldiers who stood in our path. Thou presumeth to stand in our path, servants of a master most unworthy. I, Otis, shall agitate you ye on how manner maketh. Don Quixote was now retelling the stories of Limbus Company's adventures in Hongyang, and Otis, who could no longer stand with Don Quixote's unintentional altercations of the story, jumped to hear her feet and shouted, "Damn it! What kind of nonsense are you feeding her? I never said anything like that." Ahem, very. Certain aspects of this retelling may have been exaggerated. Alright. That's Tales of Adventures for you. Things are bound to get a bit dry when a story is told too realistically and as is, right? You know, nothing, not even anything resembling a proper record or a book remained once the profound silence swept through this village. So I've always had a craving for these kinds of stories. But the barriers to stop barbarians from immigrating, emigrating, contrary to their tight immigration control. Have you ever thought about leaving this place? It's still a challenge to cross the border, especially since we are going to have to pass through larger cities that are managed by the Inquisition. You don't seem particularly fond of this Inquisition. Why is that? It says this village was formed by people who grew tired of living under the Inquisition's rule and fled. Sorry, but what kind of organization is this Inquisition? Sinclair asked, face turning toward upon hearing the word Inquisition, and that people fled from it. Yeah, the Nagel and the hammer we saw back at all aren't the kind of memories that are so easily forgotten. According to Dr. Towsett, Inquisition is what filled the power vacuum once Iberia fell into take. That is, Inquisitors are the rapier and ramp-reading protectors of Iberia's cities from lawlessness. That alone kind of makes them sound like good people, though. Yeah, they are, but there is the Church of the Deep. The Inquisition will go to whatever lengths to deal with incidents related to the church that worships Seaborn. Hey! No Inquisition that worships those monsters? It seems that Totish fetishism is a plague wherever we go. Let me guess, is it starting to do like a repeat of Sao Vento? You know, that was like the one where it's like the bishop and they were sacrificing people to the sea and then in return to get food. No, it's just, I mean, there's probably gonna be Church of the Deep as the antagonist today. I doubt they'll be fighting Inquisitors, especially since they have like the nervous impairment stuff, so it probably will just be more sea terrors. The people of all kinds of wrong beliefs and faiths are so common. You see, the Seaborns are ones that mess Iberia up. So following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems even remotely connected to them. Are you saying that Iberia is like this because of the Seaborns? Those things from earlier, I said, were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong. Anyways, it's just what I heard from Dramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people too in their crusade against the Deep. For those who proclaim to be on the side of justice, they seem quite fond of committing such a villainy. It seems like a reasonable policy decision to me. But it must pose a clear danger to the daily lives of civilians. Yeah, I heard I was the only survivor. Everyone in my family died. You must have had to endure such a long period of pain. To be able to say something like that with such composure. For Iberia, our heroes will bring the land back to its glory days. But the Dramps, they were just oppressors, making his life difficult. That's why we've all come here, fleeing from the Inquisition's days. Yet, wherefore, that's how we decided to settle at a place that is so, down? Indeed. Yeah, I know. But it's not so bad once you get used to it. Besides, we managed to find a new path thanks to you guys. Huh? Well, then wait. Maybe repairing the ship tomorrow, too? The place really has no soundproofing at all. Good talk, everyone. Hope we'll get another chance to do this tomorrow, too. Seeing Mayers to her own room. The sinners those who are still up anyway, and I weighed ourselves on the Hearthstone fort with only a thin layer of trough between it and our backs. A mysterious world that is neither city nor the outster. But it seemed that the lives of its people were just as difficult as they were anywhere. So now I'm on a ship now to fight more steep ones. Slash and Pierce. Okay, let me go to She Association then, because that's now like full team stuff. Alright, bring up the She so I can use that. I have all the event egos equipped. So it's Pierce Slash. That's perfect for She, isn't it? That's fine. Who else was in She? Dawn, right? I have the She. Wait, that's the wrong one. Yeah, Slash, Pierce, Swath, Boom. So I think Song meant Yi-Song's fine for this. Oh. Why'd they have the one blunt still on him? He's supposed to be a mono Slash. They threw a blunt out of nowhere just because, oh yeah, the Pote buffs blunt. I don't have the Pote equipped. Like, oh, you all change the actual attack stills of to blunt now to synchronize with Finigo. Yeah, that's what we need to... Oh wow. What was it? Like Gloom, Sloth. I remember. Gloom, Sloth. Dead rabbits, maybe? No, not even a single one. So I know like this is Gloom. Oh wait, DSC. Oh yeah, DSC has them. This Power Dragger has both. Should be fine for this, I think. I could bring Zayway. Zayway Trash is bad though. There's no other defense up once for his conditionals. Besides other Zayway. For Otis, I don't. Bloom Swath. So there's a Pack Mao branch. I bring G-Port Manager. Yeah, I'm assuming that the combat in this like interval is gonna be pretty easy. So I'm gonna bring like just random team, right? I'll do base for final fight probably, but for now it's gonna do random team. See who else on here? Let me see that. Rush doesn't really have one for this stuff. Go 7 on here. You have the right egos equipped, right? And then Thompson Sinclair is horrible. Low potency counts, or it also counts as well. It's just just there to be stagnant tremor. That's even a thing, stagnant tremor. Oh man. I also remember it's also Pierce, Flash and Pierce. So I feel like I should probably still want Pierce over here. That doesn't matter much. Flash and Pierce. Even Zayway Sinclair. To bring the other DSCs. Let's bring the full DSC, I guess.
관역이 생긴 모두
그래.
돌격 준비 완.
선장이 필요한가?
열쇠가 필요하신가요?
주먹으로 매만지.
아이, 뒷걸음질 치지 않는 방패가
That should be
되고.
fine.
고통 없이 지식을 얻지 못한다나 뭐라나.
It's so big! Amazing! I didn't know there were remaining vessels of this class in Iberia. Haha! I spy her name herself. No, I spy her name here. 'Tis taught by the name Rebellion de la Masses. Rebellion de la Masses. The revolt of the masses, is it? A name very much admired in peculiarity, indeed. Angu chimed in that he was rather fond of its size being about the same as the boat from his home, which is so swiftly jumped into it to correct us that its size alone wasn't anything special at the Great Lake, but I'm still pretty big compared to Mephi, or even the Indigo Elders. Stiff! I thought it was going to be somewhere around Mephi's size at most. Are you sure you can get this ship fixed in a day or two? As I briefed you yesterday, the great majority of the time-consuming repairs had already been completed by the villagers. The extent of our repair efforts only concern a few components within the vessel that the villagers could not repair, which shouldn't take us much time. Most parts of that are unfamiliar to Foss are also malfunctioning, such as the Tor engine. Remaining repairs should be sufficiently managed by Foss. Despite Otis's confident declaration, I did not help but feel oddly unsettled as I looked at the ship. I don't know why, but something tells me that we don't want to linger here for too long. Still, please be thorough about it, just in case. I'd rather not sit on a sinking ship again. The experience at the Great Lake was enough. Do not worry, Dante. Unlike Mephistopheles, most functions of this vessel, buoyancy gear, propellers, steering gear, are all in operational capacity. This repair should be much easier than the case with Mephistopheles. They seem confident enough. It should be safe this time around, right? Are we taking that rope to climb up to the ship? No, there's a lift-like apparatus down there. It will take us up to the ship. Its stability was verified yesterday. Let us board the lift. You are 100% certain, right? Boat is afloat right now, Dante. I don't think it will be sinking anytime soon. Wouldn't that be nice? Oi! Are you just going to baff about down here? We are heading up. Oh, my stomach. Oh. No, we are going with you. As I made my way into the vessel's bridge, I was greeted by the extravagant interior that was gaudy as its exterior. This isn't real gold, is it? Sure is sunny as heck in here. I've got butterflies in my stomach. Hey, S. Aesthetically satisfying, she says. Too ostentatious, not my style. Or young Mephis. Also, quite the excellent vessel. Yet imagine the adventures we did embark on. Aboard this vessel most lavishly decorated. Frost and Otis were working on one of the control panels. They walked up to another and interfaced it with it before giving a knowing nod. It must have been an investigative or research vessel of sorts. It does seem a bit extravagant for one of those. Look, coordinates updating in real time. It seems the coordinates seem to have been set to somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it points to a small islet? Nope, no islet there. Blimey, lass. You know how to sneak up on people. Mayors? What? That actually surprised you? I'd asked if you guys were going to come fix the boat today. Still, I didn't know you'd be here. Why are the coordinates set to this rotation? There are several undersea cities beneath those coordinates, collectively known as— Oh, wait, they're going to Ager? Gramps Ho— Wait, these are Agerians! Wait, what? Oh. Okay, so it's not Church of the Deep. What was understood, if I may. It is now understood why the promise to repair this ship was sufficient to earn their trust and titles of saviors. What's she on about? Someone did translating. Consolidating and cross-referencing the observed particular circumstances of the village and the statements from the village chief, alongside information garnered from the exchange with mayors, it's possible to gauge the significance this ship's repair has to the local populace. Of course, what is may constitute a sequence of logical connections that pose a certain challenge for Heathcliff to comprehend. To employ any degree of effort to attempt to explain it in more digestible language would constitute a pursuit of inefficiency. Lower the baton, I implore you. I shall explain it in full. I was wondering when Miss Smarthouse started blabbering like that again. What's she on about? Heathcliff's shoulders were relaxed. It didn't seem like he was actually going to swing the bat. He placed it lightly over his shoulder with a sigh. Brief observation of the village suggests that their substance situation was quite dire. Much of their substance consisted of dried food, most of them made for long-term storage purposes. Considering what stat said about the coastal areas are full of danger, maybe those dried seafood aren't from around here either. Maybe it's food they packed when they first came to Faro Motero? Some villagers were armed, yeah, and those sea terrors weren't exactly that formidable, but Given the state the villagers are in, I doubt they'd have an easy time repelling those monsters. Indeed. And that brings us to the question of sustenance. Right, that's what's going on here. The Wiles and her granddad are about to visit their hometown, and they are trying to get some food supplies there to feed the villagers, and to convince them they are planning to use the fact they are from the same neck of the woods, or sea, I guess. Oh, so we're not just repairing their ship, we're repairing their food supply plan too. Huh? What's wrong? It's, the expression's rather crude. It's a summary of the search's one's sphere, to the point and easily understood. Sinner stared at him with mild surprise. And I did too. Well, what's with them annoying looks? Wait. Oh, you sods! You don't think I'm that dim-witted, do ya? Heh, top-notch intuition. It's just that it's been a while since you've shown this side of yourself. Looking back, Heathcliff's intuition always seemed excellent. He'd often put together surprisingly accurate conclusions with impressive speed. You know, when you really think about it, kind of your fault for— Ah! I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Alright, get back here! Now with those fools out of the conversation, was he correct? Otis looked away from the usual chaos and asked Mayers. Honestly, I'm surprised. He was on point. Yeah, food's been running well in the village. At this rate, we won't last another year. But the Ager will— I'm sure they'll welcome us with open arms. Okay, so I'm just talking about Arknights for a sec. So it was mentioned that in the second one, the Stofera Navis, that one of the Abyssal Hunters of the second Torp, I believe? The surviving ones was the second and fourth Torp. So like the, what was his name? Like the guy with the massive hook. I said it was not time to return to Ager yet. So there's probably something going on there. I didn't do the other two or the main story, so I don't know much about the Ager civilization. Only the few survivors from when they killed the Sea Terror Dodd. One of them, I guess. And I also remember that the Agers are also part Seaborn, or from the same race. Like, different, like, evolutionary path, I guess. And the Agers can turn into Seaborn with more ease than normal people when they're infected or willingly consumed, like it was in the case with Aimia, the translator. I don't want to come off like I'm overly worried, but do you think they'll welcome the others too? Unlike mayors or chief, they are not Ager. I believe they will. Iberia suspects and hates the Ager for no other reason than that we are from the sea, but our home cannot have fallen so well as to abandon a group of starving land dwellers. Might thou explain to us who the Aegir are? I had initially thought it to be a reference to a region, yet it also refers to an affiliation of something. Maybe they're like nest dwellers, though I don't think I've heard of a nest that accepts backstreet's people with open arms. Or maybe they used to be some rich folk? If they call them Nest Toff's Ager here, does that make the rabbit ear the last Ager too? Wait, in the world you come from, do you not distinguish between races? That is not entirely true. Divination between races is a concept that does exist. Though I only saw them in the Fahoms, there were those terrifying things called the Cuckoo spawns. However, as a general rule, it can be said that humans should only be intelligent life forms in the city. People of Terra have slightly varying appearances depending on their race, like my August ears. And I've got pointed ears because I'm an Ager, though it's not a characteristic every Ager shares. The closest idea to what they're assessing appears to be, Dr. seemed to be struggling to finish her sentence. We're so stepped in, she continued. Our context clues and the manners of word uses, including the meanings of classification, the closest example in our world would be blood fiends. Similar external appearances to humans, different natures, comparable sapient. It is of my belief that blood fiends are ostracized due to their nature that makes coexistence with humans difficult. It may be that the Aegir are also. I'm sure some of them do possess qualities that make coexistence with others difficult, but they are probably rare. Then wherefore are they made subjects of suspicion and hatred? That's... Well, language is new. But the idea itself is very familiar to city folks like us.
Think of feathers of fallen wings, kids born in the back streets, people who replace their body parts with prosthetics. The form differs, yet in essence we find something about how we keep finding these similarities in the ways of our life, despite finding ourselves in a distant world with different rules, races, and humans. But oddly discomforting. The point is, you guys are doing us a real solid by fixing up the ship. Let's move on from these dreamy conversations, okay? I want to show you the tour parts of this ship. This way! The ship tour may have to wait. The repairs are almost complete, but an issue has arisen. Issue? Wow, that's not reassuring at all. Multiple life forms identified! Ahead! Assumed to be Sea Terror Horde! The ship's radar system seems to suggest that the vessel is surrounded. They are the same monsters from yesterday. Executive Manager, please order us to prepare for battle. Damn it! Are they the Sea Terrors you encountered? They look a bit different, but yeah, probably. There's a lot of them, but if our last experience tells us anything, we should be able to handle this. Emiya, please support us in battle like you did yesterday. Canst thou fight young mayors? I feel like I'm just throwing a debt in your way. Then, guys, find a place to keep mayors as far as possible from the battle. Then let's hurry down there. We don't want them damaging the ship any further. Okay, so soon there's gonna be newer Sea Terrors now. I don't think any ones that can talk. I feel like they'll probably have like a boss one to talk. I don't think there'll be like any like actual ones, and so I think they'll just make up like new Sea Terrors for this. Maybe Inquisition would. Oh, it's these things! Oh, the other ones. And that is a runner. This one's the one that's weak to slash and blunt. Wait, they're all weak to. They all have weaknesses. Wait, this one doesn't have the spreading thing.
악인들을 해치우세나!
John Ross?
바람구멍을 내주지.
허점을 찾았습니다. 다음 일도 침묵을 안겨드리죠.
So it's got more weaknesses too. Yeah, it's Sloth, Gluttony, Gloom, and Pride. Oh, so that's way more than what I initially thought. Morale boost. Oh, that's just haste. Morale boost doesn't even increase sanity, it's just haste. It's done way faster with actual identities. That's just able to kill both of those. Yeah, he increases poise too much. It's just poise count on here. It is potency, but there's nothing on these two. That's the thing. Also, at 10 plus poise count, still power plus 2. Wow.
빗소리 속에 묻히도록.
직접 열어드리죠.
Didn't even tell.
정신 차릴 수 없을
Yeah,
것이오.
like, I overestimated, overbreathed.
허점을 찾았습니다.
A lot of ads. This is more accurate for Sea Carriers, but
침묵을 안겨드리죠. 목표 확인. 돌격합니다. 반드시
like
적중합니다.
just shooting it immediately. It wasn't even their turn yet.
일사절명.
Yeah, it wasn't their turn to attack. It should have been Otis's still, wasn't it?
별것도 아니네.
Oh, did that something else then? Or did the order wrong?
열어젖힌다.
완전한 침묵.
어때? 죽을 것 같지?
양종. 완전한 침묵.
He wants to. He doesn't to be
화살이
murdered.
상하진 않았군요.
그래, 해러 가자.
Alright. There's still no actual challenging sea terrors. There aren't any that eat the corpses of the dead yet, so. Assume there'll probably be one that gains more power with more allies dead or something.
열어젖힌다.
화살이 양종.
Mission accomplished.
하늘에서 쏟아지는 장대비 사이에는 쏜살들이 숨어
This is
있었습니다.
80 for some. Oh, that's there's two difficulties,
어디서
isn't there? This
들이치는
is
빗발인지도
normal,
모르고
which also has its own
명단이
reward
있겠죠.
thing. Then there's hard that has
이것이
enough different reward.
동부의
Is there the same
암살법입니다.
EX tier stuff, or is this do I get to claim that twice or no? Oh, even more. Okay. Bring the same team, I'd ask. Okay, now I know more weaknesses. So they have pride and gluttony as well. So I could probably change up the team now to be better suited for this. I should just stop with the DSE. Pride and gluttony though. Pride, gluttony, swap. AoE, I'd ask. Yeah, I'll take that. What if I do though? What was it? Where's the Eurodivvy? I have
재촉지마.
zombie
환역의
first for
생산 모두
AoE.
악인들을
그래, 후회하지 않게 해주지.
돌격 준비 완료.
And then I'll take, do I have anyone that I can use? Or, hold on then. The 1 and 2 could work.
일인가요?
And the DSC as backup, I'd ask.
주목.
열쇠가
부선장.
재밌군. 이건 내가 맞지.
주목.
열쇠가
재밌군.
직접 손봐주지.
This would work better. So, this to have another new C tier as well. So, we're adding a new C tier every stage, it seems. Okay. Yeah, these are all from the thing. So, now it's an actual enemy now. Stand by states, not use taxes until taking damage. You takes enter combat race states, use taxes next turn. Oh. And this one has specific as Droom weakness. Oh, I just swapped up the DSE. Never entire enemies with 15 years impairment. Fixed damage, 84 HP. Utopia. Never see by 500 to power plus 2 doesn't never see on hit. Never see brand. So affects C carries. And standby state. I just waited out then.
그 누구도 볼 수 없게.
And instead of that fast one first, so that we need to go for the arrow next turn. So build up the arrow she stacks for 11% damage.
정신 차릴 수 없을 것이오. 목표 확인.
거기구나.
반드시 적중합니다. 해를 빼어냈습니다.
Ah, not a tail. I
급소가
should use still 2 instead. Oh wait, when did Ishimo attack that?
흐드러졌구려.
Okay, well now it's in the combat state, and probably spread the Never See brand as well. I have to fight it.
거기구나.
That would be another
다시
kill.
못 살게 구는 일은 없을 것이. 다시 못 살게 구는 일은 없을 것이.
다음 침묵을 안겨드리죠. 화살이
Yeah,
사라지는 한
wait, no, it has. Yeah, this is the next nothing. I don't have any
이번엔
blue.
깨어나죠.
Okay, maybe I do need statuses.
그래, 들어가자. 급소가 전부 꿰뚫렸네.
Yeah, that's just stagger it, shouldn't it? Yeah,
그들어졌구려.
so they can
다시
kill
못
one of them.
헤드
살게 구는 일은
깨어냈습니다.
없을 것이오.
I don't know if the AoE would actually hit that one when I needed to have hit.
허점을 찾았습니다.
Still just one. I don't know what they're trying to do here.
빗소리 속에 묻히도록.
이미 도달했다.
Okay, this is just this fight. More fight. It's not really anything. Just here silently, just yeah. Wait for animations to finish. Yeah.
완전한
Not much here.
목표 확인. 악인들을 해치우세나. 반드시
I
적중합니다.
still have to kill this. Wow.
일사절명.
Oh, that one hit.
급소가 전부 꿰뚫.
Oh yeah, wasn't there see brand effect look like? I don't think it's spread enough.
다음은 어디입니까?
다시 못 살게 구는 일은 없을 것이오.
So wasn't there see brand like specifically made back during the Dran Pharaoh incident when the Totus spread it up? The remaining entities have returned to sea. Is everyone okay? It was just like our last skirmish. Sea terrors that had surrounded the ship returned to sea even before the battle came to an end. And their retreat felt too orderly and deliberate to be just running away. Okay, so there is like one of sentience then. Like one that can talk. It was like they were making a tactical retreat. We're doing peachy, but what about the ship? Fool, is the ship okay? Minor damages to the hull, but nothing that will impede the ship's operational capabilities. Whew. So I noticed during the battle, I might be wrong of course, but I think I noticed how around the end of the battle, those monsters were starting to go after the manager. You are probably right actually. I noticed too, at some point during our battle, those monsters realized that it's the manager who's commanding the rest of us. I sensed the very same. Their movements were fluid and adaptive, as though they were learning our behavior. Why did you deep worship monsters like them? That ain't much of a question, ain't it? They must have all gone mental. I'm sure they have many reasons. Seaborns are beings of infinite potential, so much that there's no superlative big enough to properly convey their scale. Oh, I had a snack there. So it's like a pause for a while. Alright. As organisms, they can endlessly evolve and adapt. Every time they encounter a new environment or a new element, they transform themselves into other seaborns. Maybe that's their draw. Fascination, maybe, an attitude most be fitting of a researcher, yet the transformation of fascination into idolatry is, if I may be frank, not entirely possible. I find them pretty uncomfortable. These remind me of whales. And they can adapt to learn a language to communicate with us? Foreshadow! Oh, what? Going by everything we've heard, I think they sound really smart. Mayer's eyes went round at Honglu's suggestion. She brought her hands to her mouth, surprised. It sure was something. I heard that there was a Seaborn who could talk. Non-humans speak the language of humans, regardless of its testament to their intelligence. I can only think of two possibilities as to why they would. One, to communicate with humans, the other, to deceive humans. More often than not, it is the latter. What about distortions? Some of them already know how to speak. Distortions are phenomena in which humans transform into monstrous forms, first observed after the White Knight and Dark Days incident. Therefore, that example is irrelevant to Otis's superstition. White Knights and Dark Days? They whispered quietly, but as we were sitting rather closer, we all caught on to the hint of joy in her voice. That pillar of light in the city, did it really? What have you done with Roxas' knowledge? Oh, that's... Ain't it obvious? We got the culprit right here. The storyteller lass who's been dabbing on with no end. No, there's something else here. Yeah, she's been talking non-stop all morning about all kinds of stories, hasn't she? Oh, I've yet not gone to that far. You again? You didn't get so lost in your own stories that you blabbed all about our company's secrets, have you? Nay, fie! I would simply not. As Antoxote was subject to yet another round of stoling, and Maya stared out towards the sea, where that sea terrors might start crawling to the surface once again before turning towards us. I wonder which of the two is Seaborns. Their sense of self is really, really faint, so I don't think they'd be in either category. I think it's possible that they learned human language out of instinct, that the power of speech might help them survive. It appears that you, Miss Mayers, are quite the expert on the subject of Seaborns. Your knowledge of them goes beyond what fear for one's survival may, thereby suggesting a different means of acquisition. Do you by chance worship the Seaborns? I don't worship Seaborns. Seaborns don't have any hopes or wishes, just desires for survival. Mayers, does that mean if Seaborns were somehow able to hope? Maybe so. That's so. The repairs are complete. As we were conversing, Foss descended from the ship, a new organized set of tools borrowed from the village, repairs completed. I'm guessing repairs are done now. Done? No, did they done twice? Hold on. Done? Yes, the ship is ready to set sail. You have a departure time and date in mind. Prefer we depart as soon as possible. We don't have a set time or anything, but I think we should all be able to set sail this late afternoon at the earliest. That soon? As you've seen, we don't have a lot to bring with us. By the way, how far out to sea do you guys need to go? We need to find this dimensional door of sorts. You can see the dimensional door's light from the beach at night. It was faint, but given how the light's strong enough to break through the sea fog, we should be able to determine its rotation somewhere around coastal water. So we go back tonight? First order of business is to relay this news to the villagers. Yeah, back to the village for now. Yeah, I'm gonna stop here now. I'm gonna turn my rest of Anchor film to boxes now.
개화하였구려. 이 순간을 어딘가에 담고 싶군.
Wow, I did 3 tickets too. Wait, shit, Inquisitors? Oh, damn. Alright. I wonder if it's gonna be a new one or a repeating one. Actually, I think the only two from that story that are there is just Tarman, and then Lumens was going to join, I think. I don't think any of those two would show up here. Also, I thought there was a White House, wasn't there? That's what I saw from like the side thing of one of the backgrounds. I just think that was just a random pillar. I take the special ticket then. Cause I don't know if they'll actually ever do a block deck for this. Or I mean, with like, they probably will be a rerun of this, I'm assuming, in like a year or two. But I don't think they'll ever add voices to the story. Oh man, I'm not even halfway. What? 19 parts to it, and a 14 stage thing. Alright. I'll stop here. I've been Wavium. Bye.